The writer's strike has gone on far too long. And then the actor strike went on far too long. And here we are still. We're at day 110. I think we're on day, it's been 84 years. I think it's day 110 that we've been in with the actor strike. Everything shut down, of course. But behold, a glimmer of hope. The other day, we heard reports coming out that they have made significant progress in their discussions and that the strike could end soon. They've kept at the negotiating table. As of right now, the strike is still going on. I will tell you that what I heard was this, and we'll find out in the coming days how accurate this is. But what I heard was that the Screen Actors Guild, the actors, made a significant concession. Because remember, I'm always talking about in negotiations, you're never going to get a situation where everybody's happy. Like my real estate agent once told me, you know you had a good negotiation when everybody's a little bit unhappy. And so SAG made a really good step. They said, you know what, we'll make a big concession. And apparently they made some significant concessions on residuals. So now it's the studio's turn to make a concession. And that's been the holdup point, apparently has been AI. But according to a new report that's come out, they've been hammering on AI and maybe they've made a little bit of progress. And some of the major actors are now being told to get ready for the strike to end. This comes to us from the Hollywood Reporter, who wrote this. Things are looking a little less scary for Halloween this Halloween night, or this was for Hollywood this Halloween night. This came out last night. While expressing that talks are headed in the right direction, one studio side source says it could take a few days to work through the remaining issues. Two additional studio side sources said that talks are progressing overall in a substantive way and that a deal could be imminent. Multiple prominent actors said that they have received word that a deal could be at hand soon as well. Both sides are facing pressure to reach a new 3-year agreement in a timely manner. The studios have expressed to the union that their 2024 film slates and television seasons, by the way, will be in jeopardy if a deal is not reached this week. So, studio comes out before the weekend and says, hey guys, we've got a week to get this done or else we've lost our upcoming movie schedule and we've lost our television season. So we have no motivation to even talk anymore until January unless we can get a deal done this week. So let's get at it. So the actors, what happened? The actors in the studios got their asses in the room. They sat down, and it sounds like a lot of really good progress is being made. As a matter of fact, at one point we heard that the CEOs of the studios have even left the negotiations because now it was just down to the lawyers to work out the details. Now, we are still now here on a Wednesday with no deal. But we continue to hear these signs, Rob, that it sounds like a deal could be right around the corner. It sounds like the actors made concessions. It sounds like the studio is hopefully, because they got to get off this AI thing. They really do. They got to give the actors this. They might be heading in that direction. Guys, we want to take a second to thank a sponsor of this video, Vessi. Now, you guys know I'm not exactly the most fashion conscious guy in the world, but I love a great pair of shoes that are comfortable and I can wear almost anywhere. And growing up in Canadian winters when my feet got wet a lot, waterproof would be nice too. Enter Vessi. They make the claim that they're not just fashionable and super comfortable, they're also waterproof. Now, you guys remember, when I got my first pair of Vessis, I put them to the ultimate waterproof test. I actually stuck my foot in my pool, my feet stayed dry, and the shoes stayed dry. Incredible. And they're the most comfortable pair of shoes I ever owned. Well, that made me want another pair. So I got another pair of Vessis that look great and just equal that world-class comfort that I got from that first pair of shoes. They are absolutely my favorite shoes that I've ever owned. Imagine your favorite sneaker style supercharged with waterproof technology and unmatched comfort. No matter how you like to stay active, Vessi has the shoes for you. Trail-ready high tops, effortless slip-ons, and classic court shoes, all with a waterproof twist. They are just as comfortable and stylish as your favorite sneakers, but even more versatile. So guys, if you're anything like me and you want the most comfortable pair of shoes that look great, that you can take out hiking, wear to work, go to the gym, or walk through the water and snow, go to Vessi.com/Campea and get yourself a pair today. Go to Vessi.com/Campea and get 15% off your order using the code Campea. Rob, we're now probably 3 or 4 days away before that drop dead date that they got to have a deal by if they're going to save the television season. Are we going to get a deal in time?
I don't think so.
Really?
I mean, even if we get a deal, and they, Hollywood is not a business that can just jump the next day and start shooting. I mean, I would say if we had a deal at the beginning of this week, maybe. But even if we have a deal that's tentatively, it's not like the writers, where the writers can go and start writing in a room. This is actors to get back to work. You have to crew up, unless they've already been doing that. You have all these organizational things that have to come into play to start shooting. Now, maybe there are people that, knowing this is going to, maybe studios have already started to ramp up and they've already got crews working or in anticipation that they can go back to work. I don't know if that's the case. And if that is the case, maybe they can get back to work. Maybe Monday is a day that people are prepped and ready to go. But I don't know if that's possible. And even if there's a deal today, can they get back to work in a week, in 2 weeks? You need to prep before you start shooting.
Well, my assumption has been, when they said, if we, like, by at the end of next week, this is what they said, by the end of next week, we got to have a deal in place. I just assumed then that they've already figured out that if we don't have, if we have a deal in time by the end of next week, that gives us enough time to ramp everything up and get going. But if we don't have it by that deadline, we're just not going to be able to do it. But yeah, can they at least get to that deal, do you think? Does it sound like they're getting close enough to that?
Sure. I think they could get to that deal. I think they can. It's just a question of whether or not they can save the season. And does it make sense? Because you have to start and stop. I mean, clearly, you could shoot into Thanksgiving week. People have done it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And if you want, you come back to work, even shoot on a Saturday or Sunday if you had to. But with the holidays in place, it doesn't give people a lot of leeway. Hollywood likes to shut down for 2 weeks over Christmas and New Year's. So there's not a lot of real room. And then stopping and starting is never a great way. It does not save money in terms of production. So I think they're on a bubble in terms of being able to end the strike and get something done before the end of the year.
I'm going to go out on a limb. Before, I believe, Friday, we're going to be talking about the end of the strike.
I hope so.
I believe, maybe not by tomorrow, but I think by Friday, no one's told me this, I'm just guessing. I think by Friday, we're going to be talking about the end of the strike.
I hope so. And maybe then they can get started because, you have a movie like, well, we'll talk about Deadpool, but that's something that had substantial shooting already done. And we don't know how long they have left on their schedule, but they could probably get a lot finished if they're ready to go.
Well, we talked about this yesterday, actually. The studio announced that they are going to go back into production on Deadpool 3 in January. Because even if the strike ends today, to your point, it's going to take them a while to get everybody's schedules realigned, everything ready to go again, because people who are their crew members are probably going to be working on other things for a little bit. So it's going to take a little while to ramp it all back.
Yeah, and there were movies like Dead Reckoning Part 2 that had begun production. I interviewed on Designing Hollywood. One of the costume designer was telling me that, it's we were starting, but now we're down.
Yeah. So hopefully that can all get going pretty quick. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.